Welcome to a journey through the most haunted abandoned hospitals in the UK, where chilling ghost stories and eerie encounters have been reported for decades. These decaying walls hold secrets of a dark past, with shadows of former patients lingering in the empty halls. Prepare yourself as we explore these spine-tingling locations, where the line between the living and the dead is said to blur. 1. Denby Asylum, North Wales Hospital, Denby, Wales. Nestled deep in the eerie Welsh countryside, Denby Asylum's decaying structure looms large like a forgotten nightmare. Opened in 1848, it was once a sanctuary for those deemed insane. Now it stands abandoned, its once bustling corridors silenced. But silence does not mean peace. Visitors and ghost hunters speak of unnerving encounters, a sudden chill in the air, the sensation of being watched, and the ghostly figures of former patients lingering in the shadows. Windows are shattered, doors hang on their hinges, and the walls are covered in a thick layer of dust, as if the building itself mourns its dark past. Some say they hear disembodied whispers, the cries of those who suffered within the asylum's walls, never finding peace even in death. Others claim to have seen fleeting apparitions, pale figures in hospital gowns, wandering aimlessly through the ruins. Few dare to stay long as the feeling of dread becomes overwhelming. 2nd Severals Hospital, Colchester, Essex. Severals Hospital, once a sprawling complex for the mentally ill, is now a haunting labyrinth of decay and despair. Built in 1913, the hospital was notorious for its inhumane treatments, including electroshock therapy and lobotomies. The abandoned wards echo with the screams of those who endured these horrors, their suffering leaving a permanent stain on the building. The air inside is thick with a palpable sense of dread, and those brave enough to explore its crumbling corridors have reported hearing the echo of footsteps that aren't their own. Shadows move in the corners of your vision, but when you turn, there's nothing there, except the overwhelming sense that you're not alone. Paranormal investigators have recorded chilling EVPs, electronic voice phenomena, capturing voices that whisper of torment and fear. Severals Hospital is more than just an abandoned building. It is a monument to the suffering of its forgotten inhabitants, many of whom seem reluctant to leave. 3rd Street Augustines Hospital, Chartham, Kent. St. Augustine's Hospital sits on the edge of the Kentish countryside, its Victorian Gothic architecture giving it an ominous presence. Opened in 1875 as an asylum, it closed in 1993, but many believe that the souls of those who perished here never left. The hospital's long, winding hallways are littered with debris, and the once pristine wards are now overgrown with weeds. Yet it's not the decay that unsettles visitors. It's the feeling of being watched, of unseen eyes following your every move. Many have reported seeing shadowy figures flitting in and out of the darkness, and the sounds of doors slamming shut echo through the empty halls. The most unsettling reports are of a woman in white, a former patient who is said to wander the grounds, her face twisted in sorrow. Those who've encountered her speak of an intense coldness that grips their very soul, leaving them with an overwhelming sense of despair. 4. Newsham Park Hospital, Liverpool. Once an orphanage, Newsham Park Hospital later became a psychiatric hospital, but both iterations were marked by tragedy and suffering. Closed since 1997, the building has become infamous for its ghostly residents. Many who enter feel an immediate sense of unease, as though they've stepped into a place where the walls themselves have absorbed the sorrow of those who once lived and died there. Footsteps echo down the long corridors even when no one is around. Disembodied voices, sometimes the soft cries of children, other times the anguished wails of adults, reverberate through the air. One of the most chilling sights is that of a spectral matron who appears at the top of the stairs, her stern face peering down at trespassers before disappearing into thin air. Paranormal investigators have captured unsettling recordings, and many leave convinced that Newsham Park Hospital is a place where the dead are anything but silent. 5. West Park Asylum, Epsom, Surrey. The sprawling ruins of West Park Asylum are a chilling reminder of a forgotten era of mental health care. Opened in 1924, the asylum was once a bustling complex, housing thousands of patients who were often subjected to cruel treatments. Now abandoned, the site is a decaying maze of empty rooms and collapsing ceilings, but something more sinister seems to linger. Visitors frequently report hearing ghostly voices, distorted, almost as if calling out from another realm. The sensation of being followed is common, with many claiming to feel unseen hands brush against them in the dark. The asylum's reputation for paranormal activity has drawn ghost hunters from across the country, and many have left shaken by what they encountered. Shadowy figures are often seen darting between the trees surrounding the hospital, while strange, cold gusts of air sweep through even on the warmest days. West Park is a place where the line between the living and the dead feels all too thin. 6. Cane Hill Hospital, Colston, Surrey. Cane Hill Hospital stands as a crumbling monument to its dark past. Opened in 1882 as a mental asylum, it became notorious for the harsh treatments its patients endured. Now abandoned, the once grand hospital is a shell of its former self, but many believe the spirits of its former patients remain. Those who venture inside report hearing voices, muffled cries, and the unnerving sound of footsteps echoing down the hallways. Some say they've seen ghostly figures dressed in tattered hospital gowns, wandering aimlessly through the decaying building. Others speak of an oppressive atmosphere, as though the air itself is heavy with the sorrow and madness that once filled the hospital. The deeper you go into Cane Hill, the stronger the feeling that something is watching you, lurking just out of sight. It's a place that has drawn paranormal investigators for years, each leaving with stories of eerie encounters and inexplicable phenomena. 7th, Hingley Hospital, East Sussex. Hingley Hospital was once a state-of-the-art mental institution, but its gleaming white walls are now stained with decay and despair. Abandoned since 1994, the hospital has gained a reputation as one of the most haunted places in the UK. The wards, now silent and overgrown, were once filled with the cries of the mentally ill, and many believe that their spirits still linger. Visitors often speak of hearing ghostly whispers, and shadowy figures have been seen moving through the empty corridors. The air inside Hingley is thick, with a sense of foreboding, as though the building itself is alive with the memories of its dark past. Paranormal investigators have captured strange noises and unexplained cold spots, while others report the feeling of being touched by unseen hands. Hingley is a place where the past refuses to rest, and those who enter are left with a deep sense of unease. 8. BarrowGurny Mental Hospital, Bristol. Tucked away in the quiet countryside, BarrowGurny Mental Hospital is a haunting reminder of the past. Opened in 1939, it was once a place of healing, but after its closure in 2006, the hospital fell into disrepair, its once pristine halls now crumbling. However, it's not just the decay that unnerves visitors. Many believe that the spirits of former patients still roam the building. Visitors often report hearing strange noises, whispers, footsteps, and the faint sound of doors creaking open and shut. Some have even claimed to see the ghostly apparitions of patients, wandering through the hospital as if they're still trapped within its walls. The most chilling encounters come from those who have spent time in the hospital's morgue, where they report an overwhelming sense of dread, as though the very air is thick with the presence of the dead. BarrowGurny is a place where the past feels dangerously close. 9. Royal Haslar Hospital, Gosport, Hampshire. Royal Haslar Hospital was once a grand naval hospital, its imposing structure standing watch over the harbor. But beneath its stately exterior lies a dark history. Since its closure in 2009, the hospital has gained a reputation as one of the most haunted places in the UK. Visitors report seeing ghostly figures dressed in naval uniforms wandering the darkened corridors. Some have even claimed to see the specter of a nurse, her face pale and drawn, tending to invisible patients. The air inside the hospital is thick with a sense of unease, and many who enter feel as though they're being watched. Paranormal investigators have recorded strange voices and unexplained noises, and many leave with a deep sense of dread. Royal Haslar is a place where the past seems to linger, its ghostly residents refusing to leave. 10th. Denby Asylum, Countess of Chester Asylum, Chester. Denby Asylum, once a sprawling mental institution, is now a decaying ruin, its once grand facade crumbling under the weight of its dark history. Opened in 1829, the asylum was home to thousands of patients, many of whom endured horrific treatments. Now abandoned, the building has become a magnet for ghost hunters and thrill seekers, drawn by its reputation for paranormal activity. Visitors often report hearing disembodied voices and footsteps, and some have even claimed to see the ghostly apparitions of former patients, their faces twisted in agony. The air inside the asylum is heavy with a sense of dread, as though the building itself is haunted by the suffering of its former inhabitants. Paranormal investigators have recorded strange noises and unexplained cold spots, and many leave convinced that Denby Asylum is a place where the dead refuse to rest. 11th. Bangor Village Hospital, West Lothian, Scotland. Bangor Village Hospital was once a thriving mental institution, but its closure in the early 2000s left it abandoned and decaying. The hospital's Gothic architecture adds to its eerie atmosphere, and many believe that the spirits of former patients still roam its halls. Visitors often report hearing strange noises, whispers, footsteps, and the sound of doors creaking open and shut. Some have even claimed to see ghostly figures dressed in old-fashioned clothing, wandering through the hospital as if they're still trapped within its walls. The air inside Bangor is thick with a sense of foreboding, and many who enter feel as though they're being watched. Paranormal investigators have captured strange noises and unexplained cold spots, and many leave with a deep sense of unease. Bangor Village Hospital is a place where the past feels dangerously close, its ghostly residents refusing to leave. 12th. Witchurch Hospital, Cardiff, Wales. Witchurch Hospital stands as a chilling reminder of its past. Once a large psychiatric hospital, it housed thousands of patients, many of whom were subjected to cruel treatments. Now abandoned, the hospital has gained a reputation as one of the most haunted places in Wales. Visitors often report hearing strange noises, whispers, footsteps, and the sound of doors creaking open and shut. Some have even claimed to see ghostly figures wandering through the hospital's darkened corridors, their faces twisted in agony. The air inside Witchurch is heavy with a sense of dread, and many who enter feel as though they're being watched. Paranormal investigators have captured strange noises and unexplained cold spots, and many leave convinced that Witchurch is a place where the dead refuse to rest. 13th. Mid Wales Hospital, Talgarth, Wales. Mid Wales Hospital sits in the heart of the Welsh countryside, its once grand facade now crumbling under the weight of time. Opened in 1903 as a psychiatric hospital, it was home to thousands of patients, many of whom endured horrific treatments. Now abandoned, the hospital has gained a reputation as one of the most haunted places in Wales. Visitors often report hearing strange noises, whispers, footsteps, and the sound of doors creaking open and shut. Some have even claimed to see ghostly figures wandering through the hospital's darkened corridors, their faces twisted in agony. The air inside Mid Wales Hospital is heavy with a sense of dread, and many who enter feel as though they're being watched. Paranormal investigators have captured strange noises and unexplained cold spots, and many leave convinced that Mid Wales is a place where the dead refuse to rest. 14. Springfield Hospital, Tooting, London. Springfield Hospital's older, unused wings have become a hotbed for ghostly activity. Though parts of the hospital are still operational, the abandoned sections tell a darker story. Once a psychiatric institution, these now crumbling rooms were home to patients who suffered greatly, and many believe their spirits still haunt the grounds. Visitors have reported hearing strange noises, whispers, footsteps, and the sound of doors creaking open and shut. Some have even claimed to see ghostly figures wandering through the hospital's darkened corridors, their faces twisted in agony. The air inside Springfield's abandoned wings is thick with a sense of foreboding, and many who enter feel as though they're being watched. Paranormal investigators have captured strange noises and unexplained cold spots, and many leave with a deep sense of unease. Springfield Hospital is a place where the past refuses to rest. 15. Hartwood Hospital, Shotts, Scotland. Hartwood Hospital stands as a decaying monument to its dark past. Once a large psychiatric hospital, it was home to thousands of patients, many of whom endured horrific treatments. Now abandoned, the hospital has gained a reputation as one of the most haunted places in Scotland. Visitors often report hearing strange noises, whispers, footsteps, and the sound of doors creaking open and shut. Some have even claimed to see ghostly figures wandering through the hospital's darkened corridors, their faces twisted in agony. The air inside Hartwood is heavy with a sense of dread, and many who enter feel as though they're being watched. Paranormal investigators have captured strange noises and unexplained cold spots, and many leave convinced that Hartwood is a place where the dead refuse to rest. From eerie footsteps to ghostly apparitions, the haunted history of these abandoned hospitals continues to captivate and terrify. Are these stories of paranormal activity just myths, or is there something darker lurking in these forgotten places? Let us know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more chilling explorations into the unknown.